there.
Yeah, cool. Hi everybody. We got Josh helping today. I think Josh has only done this once before, and he's a bit like, how do I get this started? What do I do? So yeah, Josh is helping today. Drew's in work, and Alex is full up with a cold. He's got proper snot. I've checked him. It's not coronavirus. It's fine. But yeah, he's proper cold today, so he wasn't feeling up to it. So Josh has volunteered to do it today for us. Hi everybody, how you doing? It's Wednesday, happy Wednesday, and we are doing block of the week. And I've got another little block for you, which is a very traditional block, but then we're going to play around with it. We're going to see. We're going to do a what if block, so you can just do it really traditionally, and that's absolutely fine. But then I'm going to show you what happens if we do this and what happens if we do that. Okay, but first of all, a couple of little things for you. So, deal of the day is, so Josh, you're going to need to come up to this one, maybe move it up, okay? Is this Christmas panel, okay? So this would make the most beautiful table runner just by itself. You would need nothing more than a bit of wadding and a bit of backing, and then you could quilt round all these stars, or you could just sort of go round the edge or anything like that. Really, really beautiful panel. It is by P&B. 100% cotton as usual, normally £12. I've got 8 of them left, I think. They're normally £12. I'm going to do them for £7, but for 24 hours only. Okay, so I don't know, can you scroll in so people can see it? So you should be able to, like, I think you can zoom in, I think. Can you zoom in? No, maybe not. Maybe you can just get in a bit closer.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You can see it's all these beautiful poinsettias, and I really like the fact in the background, I don't know if you're going to be able to catch this, try and move it a bit forward, you've got like little Father Christmases and all sorts, little Christmas trees and children, Santa's sleigh, all sorts going on in the background of this one as well. So, was £12, 24 hours only. It's going to go on as soon as I get back onto the website, and then it's going to be £7, okay? And I will take it off when we come off tomorrow, okay? So that's our daily deal. And then I'm going to show you these that came in. Sarah actually squealed. She did genuinely squeal at this. She was like, oh my God, I love it. So as you can see, they're still in the packaging. This is called Just What I Wanted, and it's by Clothworks. And we've got a few of these, and they are mega cute. Look at these gorgeous little mice. You've got mice, you've got little cats. It says from all of us, just what I wanted. If I flip it this way. Oh, look at the little dog sat by the window. Oh, there you go. You can probably see it better on that one. You've got the little puppy sat by the window, looking out the window. Absolutely love this. I love the little gingerbread house here, which is just yummy. So there's that one. These, as you can see, haven't even come out of the packaging yet. You just I'll have to take them out of the plastic because it goes all shiny on camera, and then you've got all the little tiny mice decorating the Christmas tree with all those baubles. There's that one, and then this one is little mice hanging up stockings and wrapping up more little mice's presents, which is a bit cruel, really. Look, he looks like he's been wrapped up into a present on that one. But you've got all these beautiful little mice. I really like the freshness of this. I think it's really beautiful in that mint green, that sort of pale green. And then we've got, get this one out. So we've got stars, which is a really nice blender to go with it. Okay, so there's the stars to go with it. Like that. And then the last one is these streamers, which, you know, I like a stripe. You know, I'm a bit of a bugger for a stripe. Love that. Absolutely love that as well, which again would make a beautiful border on something, or really cool binding. So this is called Just What I Wanted. It is already on the website. I put it on literally 10 minutes before I came over. It's usual, you can do ½ metre units and upwards, and it's £12 a metre, okay, so it'd be £6 for half a unit. But I think it's beautiful, really do. It's incredibly cute for Christmas, really, really different. Like I said, it made Sarah squeal. She got proper like, oh my God! But yeah, really cute. I hadn't noticed the little dog, but I think he's lovely. With his little stocking and everything. Really, really nice. Really nice for some Christmas projects. Make beautiful little gift bags and things. So, before we get started, who's there? Just will have my water. Who's about? Who's saying hello today?
Linda Heads here, Caroline Davis.
Hi, guys.
Kate.
Oh, yeah.
Marilyn.
Lovely, lovely.
Wendy.
Wendy. Hi, Wendy. Hi, everybody.
And Lisa.
And Lisa, cool. You're right. What did you press then?
No, it came up with like a comment, so it just dropped down to the bottom.
Ah, right, fair enough. Cool. So we're going to look at like a really traditional hourglass block today, which ends up looking something like this. Okay. Now I'm doing this in the farmhouse flannels. Okay, because I'm going to make it into some cushion covers because my husband really needs more cushions in the flat in London, frankly, because he's got none. So I thought these would be really nice. I love the flannel. It's got the most beautiful texture. It's so soft. It's like a brushed cotton. It's fab. So I didn't just want to do squares. I thought, let's play around. And this is what they call the hourglass block. So if you kind of look at that one, okay, this is your hourglass, like that. It's supposed to look like, an egg timer, an hourglass. And I've put 4 of them together. And I'm using a charm pack, which is why they've come out at this size, okay. We have got this as an layer cake as well, but this is it's beautiful, this range. If you're making for a bloke, or making for yourself, but if you're making for a bloke and you want something that's really cosy and sort of warm feeling, particularly for Christmas and stuff, this is gorgeous, really, really beautiful. So we're gonna start by doing this one, and then I'm going to show you how you can play around with it. And I know this is a lot smaller, but that's because we're going to cut into it and resew. How you can get something that kind of looks like this. And this idea kind of came from when Sarah did that disappearing half square triangle thing. I thought, what happens if you start cutting into other things? What happens if you start cutting into other blocks? And I don't know if you can come a bit closer on that one, Josh. You can see you've got some really, really tiny little pieces in there. But that's because I've chopped through this one and sort of re-sewn it back together, moved them around like you do with the disappearing 9 patch, moved pieces around, and you end up with something like that. It's not fiddly, that's a lie. It's not fiddly. It's you need to be a little bit patient with it, because it's flannel, so it's a lot thicker, okay? But if you did this with normal cottons, it would work just as well, okay? But I just thought we'd start by doing the hourglass, which is nice and simple, and then you could leave it like that. And I actually really like these flannels in this, like this. I think it looks really nice. It's got kind of that sort of tweedy feel to it. But you could then, if you wanted to, get a little bit more ambitious and cut into it. So, anybody having a comment or anything there just before we get started?
Sandra just said she just finished making a quilt out of it.
It's fab, isn't it, Sandra? Pop a picture onto the Gigglers for us. Yeah, it's nice to work with, isn't it? I really, really like it.
Linda made a quilt for her son's man cave.
Oh, you did? Yes, I remember last Christmas because this is Farmhouse Flannels 2, which is this season. So you had Farmhouse Flannels 1, but it's so nice. It just feels really good, really cosy. So all I did was I opened up a charm pack and I put them into darks and lights, okay, as near as damn it, okay. So that one is sort of a medium and a dark, but you can put them into darks and lights like this, okay. So I've got a bit of contrast. If I was to put those two together, you're not going to get much contrast, okay. So I wanted to kind of give myself a little bit of contrast with them. Okay, I've just realised I drew on the wrong side of that one. It's a good job Friction pen comes off, isn't it? Okay, and we're just going to make some half square triangles to start with. So I'm going to start with these ones for now. And as per usual, we're just going to match them up, right sides together, sorry, and we're going to draw a line diagonally down, just like we've done thousands of times before now, guys, haven't we? So we're going to go down like that, okay, and we're going to stitch 1/4 inch either side of that line, okay? So we're going to whip over to this sewing machine. Don't worry about trying to get close or anything with this, Josh. Just keep it as a wide shot, all right?
Cool.
Because you guys all know how to do this. So we are going to just sew down 1/4 inch both sides, okay? Got my 1/4 inch foot on. So how are you all? Is everybody okay? Did any of you watch Bake Off last night? I believe Bake Off started again. I totally forgot until this morning. I'm sure I saw that it was supposed to have started again last night. So yeah, did anybody watch it? Was it any good? Were they all? How did it work with all the social distancing, or was it filmed beforehand? I don't know. I really shouldn't I? So we're going to go back over to here. Okay, so you want to keep me up here, love. Yeah. You got it?
Yeah,
Working it out? Yeah. Cool. So I've just stitched down 1/4 of an inch like we've done before. And then we're going to just go right across the centre with a rotary cutter, like that, to make 2 half square triangles. Okay, you right?
Yeah.
So just getting used to the toy. Okay, so we're going to do 2 little half square triangles. And you want to make lots of those, okay? I would also always, if I'm using the flannel, no, not if you're using normal cotton, but if you're using the flannel, I would press this seam open, okay? It's a lot thicker than, as I discovered, because I didn't press this open, but as I started sewing it, this would work so much better if I'd have pressed it all open because of the bulk, because it is slightly thicker than normal cotton, okay? So I'm just going to press this one open. Like that. Okay, so I've got a nice one like that, and then I'm going to grab another one that I did previously because I don't want the same colours together, and I'm just going to repress this open. So any questions or comments there, Josh? What's everybody saying just when I'm doing
Catherine
this?
says she made a lovely quilt with this stuff out of for her husband last year.
Ah, nice. It is lovely stuff. Really, really good. And like I said, we've got it in layer cakes and charm packs. They should be on the website. Okay.
And Lisa says they were living away from their families in Bake Off.
Oh, were they? Oh, wow. Gosh, that's quite hard, isn't it? Because I know obviously they're away for like the weekendy bits, but the weekends that they're away. But that must be really hard to be away for that amount of time.
Apparently the last challenge was a little interesting.
Oh, I'm going to have to watch it later now, aren't I? Definitely going to have to watch it later. So, what we want to do now is in order to get that hourglass 1/4 square triangle thing going on, is we're going to put these right sides together, and you want to line them up like this so that the triangles are over the triangles. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Okay, like that. You don't want them to be like that, so they're going in opposite directions. All right, so you want the triangle to be over the triangle, like that. And I would pop a pin through the centre there and just make sure that it's through the centre there. Okay, now if you're doing this with non-flannel, if you're doing this with normal 100% cotton, I would absolutely iron to one side and iron to one side and nest that together down that centre seam. Okay, I'm only doing this pin thing because I've done it open because of the flannel, because the flannel is so much thicker. Okay, now if I was just doing half square triangles, so if I was just doing half square triangles and doing a pattern with that, there is no reason at all why you can't just press to one side. Okay, that's absolutely fine. But because I'm going to be sewing again and cutting and sewing and cutting, this just keeps the seams much flatter because of the amount of bulk you get with flannel. Okay, so just going to pin that one in place.
Linda asked if you had the same fabric but prettier designs.
We don't at the moment, actually. The flannel in the charm packs are these sort of like muted greys and browns at the moment. I haven't even seen any from any of the reps at the moment, not in brushed cottons or flannels. They always tend to be these kind of gentle ones. I mean, we've got some on the bolt, which are like baby designs in brushed cotton, but not in the pre-cuts. I mean, it tends to be Moda that do the pre-cuts, and it tends to be Moda that do flannels. I haven't seen any sort of like prettier designs at the moment. I've only seen, mind you, see, I quite like these muted colours. I know they're quite, more manly as such, which I know is not politically correct, but but I quite like them. But no, not at the moment, I'm afraid, lovely, not in the flannel. So I now want to draw a line in the opposite direction to this seam. So I'm going to go like this, okay? Like that, right the way across. Like that, okay? And I'm going to stitch down 1/4 of an inch either side of that line, just like we did here. Alright, so I'm going to go back over to the machine. So did anybody else watch Bake Off? Who did you like? Which contestants do you like? Which ones annoyed you? What was Matt Lucas like? How did he get on? Because obviously there's no more Sandy, is there? It's I like Noel Field and anything. I think Sandy and Noel worked really well together. But how did Matt Lucas work out? Tell me, I'll watch it later. Anybody chattering away there? Anybody?
Yeah, Anne Davis arrived, says hi.
Hi Anne, how are you, lovely?
Lucinda said definitely not hitting the Remit, supposedly heads sculpture on Bake Off.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, I'm definitely going to have to watch it now to find out what all that's about. There we go. So I've stitched down 1/4 inch either side on that one.
Lisa did not like Matt.
You didn't like Matt, no? Did he not work as a presenter? I'm not sure if I like Matt Lucas very much. I don't quite get his humour, but I'll give it a go. So we're going to cut up that line just like we did previously. And then when you open them out, you've got your little hourglass block. Now you could do lots and lots of those, okay? You could just do lots and lots of those, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to iron this out flat. Come on. There we go. And I would mix and match my colours. Come on, there we go. Okay, so I'd mix and match my colours, and I've got a little block like that. These square up if you're using a charm pack, not the layer cake, because the layer cake would obviously be bigger. But then I would square these up to 4 inches. Okay, so I'd put my 2-inch line. So if I just move this over so you guys can see. So I would square this up. I'm going to have to stand up for this bit. So I put my 2-inch line right on that centre point and the diagonal right across the centre like that. So I've got my 45-degree line going down. And then I would do top and bottom, top inside and turn, and then square it up to 4 by 4. Okay. This is if you're using the charm pack. Obviously it would be different if you were doing this with the layer cake. Okay. There we go. And you could just make lots and lots of those. Okay. And then sew in 4 of them together and you get a little block. All right. So that's a really nice, simple little hourglass block. And you could put lots of the blocks together and you'd get this really nice nice look. Okay, I would just literally make lots and lots in all different combinations, add them together like that, and then you've got that little hourglass. Okay, but I got to this point and thought, what if I did what Sarah did with her disappearing half square triangle block? You see my seams aren't very good on this one. What happens if I cut into it? So I ummed and ahed about cutting into it this way. Okay, so cut into it this way, like 1 inch either side, and then 1 inch either side that way as well, so vertically. And I thought, okay, that might work, and then I can mix and match stuff. But what about if I play with, because there's a lot of diagonals, let's play with the diagonals. And what if I cut into it this way? Okay, so that's what I did with this one. So from that centre line there, the diagonal line, I put my 1 inch line mark, 1 inch mark on my ruler down, and I cut 1 inch that way, and then I did 1 inch that way. So I cut 1 inch either side that way, and then I cut 1 inch either side that way. Okay, and then mixed and matched them around. So, what should we do? Should we try it this way? Should we try doing it this way and see what happens? We could have something completely different to this then, wouldn't we? Or should I do this one? What do you reckon, ladies? Let me know. Do you want to see the diagonal one, which is how this comes out? Or should we have a go at doing it straight and really wing it and see what happens? Okay? Because we could, because I did it diagonally, but there's no reason why we couldn't cut into it this way and see what happens. Anybody commenting? What do you fancy, diagonally or straight?
Currently there's a consensus that we don't like Matt Lucas.
Oh, was he really that bad? Oh, that's really disappointing if it's going to ruin Bake Off. Oh.
Belinda wants you to do it the different way.
Should I do it the straight way this time? Should I do it straight this time rather than diagonally? Because you've got to kind of see what happens when I do it diagonally.
That's 2 for straight. 2
for straight. Let's do straight. Okay, so let's see what happens when I do this, because I've not done this, so this might completely ruin it. It might work. We don't know. So
definitely consensus on straight.
Okay. So should I do an inch or should I go in? Let's go. I might throw that. No, let's try it. Let's just do an inch. So I'm going to measure an inch from that centre point like that. And let's cut up. This might be a complete disaster. You never know. Okay. And then I want an inch from this point. Now I'm going to have to, because I'm trying to do it towards you, you're going to have to, don't cut towards yourself like this, okay? This is me being really naughty. But I don't want to move it and I can't get around that side. So I've cut through like that and like that. Alright? And then I'm going to cut that way as well. So let's try that. So if I come this side and go an inch that way, let's go an inch that way. So I'm lining up on that centre line. Let's go an inch up that way, like that. And then I can, hang on, if I just scoot around this side. Oh, I've got bolts of fabric and all sorts in the way. And then go an inch this side. Let's see what happens. You never know. We might have just invented a brand new block. There we go. Okay. Turn back around. So, what you end up with now is you've got little pieces like this. Okay, so I would swap them. So let's have that one over there like that, and that one there, and swap them like that, that and that. Okay, and then when you push them back together, now when we lose, I will sew them together in a minute and see what happens. Ooh, that's quite nice actually, because you've got got that diamond sort of thing happening here now. You could as well, you could turn that as well, couldn't you? So if we turn that a quarter turn, so it all kind of goes out of sync. Got something that kind of looks like that. That's kind of interesting. Why not? Okay. So again, it looks, you've got a slightly different look. It's slightly, this one's a lot, you've got a lot smaller pieces by going on the diagonal. This one, you've still got some bigger pieces in it. Right, so let's put that together. Let's put it together and see what happens. I think we're gonna, it might still work. Let's see. So let's just sew it together. Like I said, no idea if this is going to work. We're just going to go for it and see what happens. And at the end of the day, all I've done is waste a little bit of fabric. Well, I won't have wasted it because it can go in a mile a minute or something. There we go, so 1/4 of an inch that side. And, oh, it's kind of offset the triangles and stuff. I'll show you in a second. Let me put the other one on and see what happens. I quite like this sometimes though, that idea of taking a really, really traditional simple block, cutting it up and seeing what's going on. So while I'm stitching this together, talk to me about Matt Lucas. Is everyone still having a having a moan?
No, we're all in agreement that we like it this way.
Like the the straight cut rather than the the diagonal.
Yeah, everyone thinks it's really nice.
Yeah, it's different, isn't it? It's a bit different. You know, because you've got these sort of bigger pieces which are coming into play, and actually all sorts of random things are happening now. So let's try this, put this together. Ooh, just be careful because you have got some funny little pieces when you cut it up. You end up with some funny little dog ears, so I had little bits hanging off there. So this probably would have been better to experiment with, not with flannel, because flannel is very slight. It's not stretchy. No, it is actually, that's light. It's got a very slight little bit of stretch in it. So it'd probably been better to experiment, not with flannel. Okay, so those I pressed that way. So if I press that inwards, gently, like that, and then put that one on that side. I think it's one of the things you're going to have to not worry too much about your points, you know, whether your seams match. If you do this sort of thing, maybe get your scrap bucket out, cut yourself some squares, and have a play, have an experiment, see what you can come up with. Ooh. Oh, I came in unthreaded. Hang on. How did that happen? 2 seconds, ladies. So, anybody else having a chat there just while I sort this out?
Sonia met Matt Lucas. He's really nice, apparently.
Ah, cool. How did you meet him? I don't mind him on things like QI and stuff. I don't mind him on a panel show. I don't know, no particular objections to him, but I never quite got the humour when he was doing the show with David Walliams. My husband thought it was hysterical. I've never quite got it, to be honest. So that one's going to go on there like that. Oh no, that way round, like that. Let's put these ones together. Anybody else having a chat there?
Marilyn Thomas says she likes them both.
Ah,
Like
good.
both the patterns.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
that is.
like I said. It's that idea of what happens if. It's you can take really traditional blocks, really things that you might have done lots and lots of times, and then play around with. Is that the right way? No, hang on. That way. Couldn't remember how I'd picked it up then. Oh, hang on, if I picked that up wrong. Oh no, that's right. There we go. I've got it. Thought I'd picked it up wrong. Get your scrap buckets out. Cut yourself some 5-inch squares. Maybe this might work really nicely in like solids. Just like absolute plain fabrics or something, or some old scraps of spray time or something. Some different colours, and have a little experiment. Cut some squares, as long as they're the same size. Make your hourglasses, and then cut into it and see what happens. That's all we're doing. Okay, so that's then going to go on like that.
Matt Lucas was in Les Mis.
Yes, he was in Les Mis. Yeah, he was really good as well. Actually, he played Master of the House. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Hold on.
You right?
Yeah.
You get it to come this way with me?
Yeah, sorry. There you go.
There you go. Okay, so like I said, let's just put this together and see what happens when we put it together. You don't have to sew it together like this. You could have put some tiny little sash in or something in between those pieces. That would give you another look as well. It would give you a completely different sort of feel to it. If we'd have cut it up and moved them apart and then put like some little sashing in between, that might have been quite a funky idea as well. And then it is thick, this. You do need to... I was ironing with my big iron because you need a bit of weight, really, when you're using flannel. But if I then put that one on like that, we can see what it looks like. Which way is that going? That's going that way.
There you go. Sonia met him outside of Les Mis after the show.
Oh, wow. Oh, I love Les Mis. It's one of my favourites. Makes me cry every time. One of my absolute favourites. Love it. Here we go. Okay, nearly done. And then we can just open that out, give that a really good press. And like I said, I would give this a bit of a starch and a press, I think. And that's what we've ended up with, which is actually quite cool. I think I'd be a bit more careful, and I'm doing it very quickly. I'd match my point there, because actually that one there is much nicer. But I quite like the fact it looks like these are sat in front of this other diamond. Yeah, see, so by cutting it completely differently, it's also a lot bigger. So I cut this diagonally, okay? I cut it through diagonally twice and sewed it back together, and it's actually kept, what's that now? So this one's squared up to 5.5, this one's going to square up to 6.5. So from, from a half square triangle, like that, no, that's a quarter square. Where's all the half squares gone? Yeah, so just playing around with a charm pack. So from a half square, we put 2 half squares together to make a quarter square, like an hourglass. And you could, like we were saying, just literally put these together in, in rows or in little groups of 4. But I put it into a group of 4, and then this one we cut through diagonally, and this one we've cut through straight. And you get something completely different. Something that's looks like you've spent hours and hours, actually, with all these tiny, tiny little pieces. Be interested to do it with a layer cake, actually, with bigger squares, and see whether it gives you, how big that pattern scales up, how it looks when it's scaled up. So, any questions or comments there? Anything?
I know, apparently there was some fly drama that was...
Oh, what on Bake Off?
Maybe I
Some sort of
believe
fly
so.
drama. Oh, I'm going to have to watch it tonight now, aren't I, ladies and gents? Yeah. So I've got half a pattern still to write tonight. I've got to get on. So I will put that on and watch that tonight.
Sonia thinks she prefers a smaller one.
You like this one? I think maybe this would work better. The more I think about it, I think this would work better with solids. I think the pattern is just messing with it a little bit too much. I think if this was all in solids or like a spray time, a simple blender, I think these lines in the pattern are just taking away the dynamics a little bit for me. But have a play around. Why not use those scraps or, old duvet covers or whatever you've got hanging around. Have a play around with them. Cut yourself some 5-inch squares, or 6-inch or 7-inch. Doesn't matter. It would be exactly the same method. Cut yourself some squares, sew them together. See what you can come up with. And, and then show us what you've had to play with. If you get a chance to have a little experiment and see, let me know. Put it on the Gigglers page. Remember, we've got the Gigglers page. And you can always post lots of things on there. Where Sarah and Sian and I are all on there quite regularly. It's lovely to see what you're making. So and everyone else likes to see what you're making as well. but yeah, I might try this again. Actually, I might try this again. Maybe with some solids and see whether that works better. But I don't know. It's different. We'll see. Any other questions or comments there, Josh?
Not right now. Natalie says that she always takes a while to come around to new presenters and Bake Off.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about it not being Mel and Sue, but in the end it was just like, actually I loved Noel and Sandy together, so we'll give Matt a chance, shall we? We'll give him a chance and see what happens. Anybody else there? Else having a chat?
I think I've gone through everything.
You got everything. That's fine. That's no problem. Right, I am back tomorrow, 1:00. With some self-binding napkins. They're really cool. If Marilyn Thomas is there, she might, if she's got them, mind you, if you're down west, you probably haven't got a picture of them, but she might be able to show you a picture of hers, because we all did them in different colours and stuff. Remember, we have got the flannels on the website. We've got them in charm packs and layer cakes. They're so beautiful. If you do nothing more than just stitch them together in squares, they will make the most beautiful Christmas present or cosy throw to cutch up under. If you've got teenagers, grandsons or kids that you want to make something for Christmas, would you mind something like that, Josh, in these colours?
Yeah.
If they're sat playing their PlayStation and stuff or on their computer and they want something to drape over them, this would be nice and cosy.
Always into farmhouse things.
Pardon?
I'm always into farmhouse.
Well,
things.
that's true. You do like your outdoors. And then don't forget, this is the daily deal. Okay, so these are now £7, but it's going to be 24 hours only, and I'm going to put it on as soon as I get back. Okay, so it'll be literally as soon as I get back, I'll put it on for you. And don't forget the mice; they're so cute. I love them. So I'll see you tomorrow, 1:00. Nobody else there? No other comments.
Everyone's saying thank you. Kate
No
Ann
problem.
saying thank you.
Lovely, cool. See you tomorrow, guys. Bye.